Yeah, so I've been working with Drupal and AI and using Drupal to, we call it orchestrate, a swarm of agents that can do various things on your site. But it's basically using AI to just do things that you would have had a human to do. So you would create content on your site, edit the site in some way, make decisions. And so my talk has been about some tools that we built recently to help someone who's not a developer, because I personally can't program myself. So to help a non-developer control and create these agents to do various things for you. Yeah, I think Drupal is miles ahead. It's getting tough. A lot of people are catching up, and so many software libraries and stuff are now taking AI a lot more seriously than they used to be. But we started a while back. And I think we've got a few things in the Drupal community that are inherent to Drupal that we're very hard to replicate, that make it very powerful for AI. In Drupal, we have a concept of a site builder. So we allow a lot of things that it does to be controlled by a non-developer. A non-developer can go in and change their data model. They can change things on a page. They can create the reports themselves. And we can see it. And it's easy to understand. It's easy to see the flow of it. It's easy to see what's happened. And so when we do use Drupal to create AI agents doing things, or when the AI agents do things to Drupal, it's similarly very easy for us to, as a non-developer, to see what's happened and how the flow works. Whereas if you're going to use pure code to orchestrate your AI agents, you'd have to look at logs, databases, you'd have to read through the code and see all this noise that gets in the way. So I think that's really powerful. And then we've got a ginormous ecosystem. There was a phrase that we used to use of there's a module for that. But if you ever have an idea of can my website do this? There's almost certainly a module for that already exists. But our modules are almost all free. They work well together. We tend to collaborate rather than compete. It's not a thing where there's 4 or 5 different widgets by different companies where they're trying to compete, but they're basically doing the same thing. And so I think that's really powerful for the AI agents to be able to make use of this ginormous AI ecosystem, that it can see it all. It's all in one place. It's all on Drupal.org. It's very consistent in the way everything's structured and explained. And I think that will put Drupal in a very powerful place to orchestrate those agents, because it can already work with a lot of things. So the core of the AI module is just an abstraction layer. So it's if you build an AI application on Drupal, it allows you to connect to any model. You could use OpenAI, you could use Claude, you could use different providers like AWS Bedrock, that is a bit of a safer one for corporate people, but also you can use the open source models like Llama or DeepSeek, hosted with a variety of different places. And we've got providers like the Amazing AI provider we talked about now, which is specific to Drupal at the moment, but it really simplifies that process of getting to those models. So that's the core of it. But on top of that, we have a variety of different sort of AI application building blocks. Automators allows you to chain prompts together and chain services together to build complex AI applications. AI search allows you to use AI to look through your content, and so chatbots don't just make things up, but it uses content on your site. And then we've obviously got AI agents that can do a variety of different things through their chatbots, etc. And that's like a second layer. It is no code, but it's a little bit complicated. And then finally in Drupal we have a new thing called recipes, and recipes are actually working pieces of software that configure this all for you to achieve something. And you can put that on your site, and now it just does something. So you can have a recipe that is the chatbot that can control your, the fields on your site and help you create whole content types, etc. And somebody else has to make that recipe for you, but once they've got it on your site, you as a really, no code whatsoever, not even any configuration, you can just get up and running. Our hope is to really build out a library of hundreds of AI recipes doing a variety of different things that you can do with the framework modules. Yeah, you don't have to. So one thing we've been working with is there's something called MCP in the AI community, which is by Anthropic, and it's kind of like the REST API of AI. It's kind of like, how can we make it so that AI agents can talk to a variety of different pieces of software, have the information, and then do things with that software. Another way in which we're ahead is there already is a Drupal MCP module. And if you go to Anthropic's open source repository of MCP servers, Drupal's the only one there like it. It's alongside, Google Docs is there, Jira's there, Slack is there. There's a lot of pieces of software that plug into this MCP ecosystem, and then there's Drupal. So you can control Drupal through Claude, but also we'll be able to control those things through Drupal. And that means you could use a Drupal site to host your AI agents that do things, but those could control information in something else like WordPress or your custom system or whatever CRM you have. So it doesn't need to be these AI agents exist within Drupal and only on things inside Drupal. It can also talk to things outside of it and control it that way.